Good evening, class. Good evening, class. Tonight I will demonstrate some of the makeup tips that I use for myself personally when I'm going out. I won't show all of the tips for time's sake, but this is just some of the things that I do on a daily basis when I'm going somewhere. I'll usually start off with my eyes. So for the primer, I use the Ulta Beauty Tinted Eye Primer. It's a peach glow, so it usually lights up kind of brownish tint. And to apply it, I usually just use my finger because I like to use this instead of the brush because it just seems easier. So you just apply it to your eyes. You don't have to use a lot. I actually squirted out too much, so it's kind of a lot. So you just rub that in so that it rubs in. So once you put the eyeshadow on top, it just kind of brightens it up. So that's basically the size that I usually use. I just put it in there. I don't do anything to my eyebrows because they just kind of have this kind of natural arch, so I really don't do anything to them. Okay, so now that I have that on, I go to my eyeshadow next. This is my Naked palette that I use. My two favorite tints are these two. I just have a regular eyeshadow brush that I use, not anything fancy. So I usually just get a nice amount on the brush. As you can see, not too much. And I just apply it. I start here and I work my way up to the top. And for the top, I usually get just a little bit more just to make sure it covers the primer for my eye. And I like to just extend my eye just a little bit to make sure that it's rubbed in. So I'll do the same thing for this one. And once I do my second eye, I don't use as much on the brush because I've already have some left access from when I used it on the other eye. So you don't have to use as much. Okay, so that's how that looks after. So next, I go to my face, and I use my primer, Pure Perfection. I normally would wipe my face, but I've already done that once I got out of the shower this evening. So I just apply a small amount to my hand. I rub my hand in, and then it's like the white color, and I just put it on my face, and I just rub it in real good. And I like to make sure I get the creases. And then I get just a little bit more for the top of my face. I'm almost out, as you can see. Well, I don't know if I'll be able to show you. Okay, so. And you don't want to use too much because it'll have your face kind of white after. Oh. I rub that in. The foundation that I like to use, I have MAC. This one is the waterproof. I use this one like if I'm going to church or something, in case shed a couple tears. This one doesn't rub. And I like to use my Fit Me also. It is coconut, so I like to mix the two. And for my brush, this is the brush that I usually put on and I apply it to my face. And so I apply it here. You don't have to have a lot, so I just put just a little drop and I place it on my face right here, right here. Class, all of my stuff is just kind of at its last leg. So that's the places I put the foundation, and then I go with my Fit Me to put on top of what I already have on. This one is a little lighter, so it kind of blends it out. I just use a little bit since I already have the other one. And I put it in the same spots that I've put the other one, so not too much. I usually let it sit for just a second, just to let it sit there. This is the brush that I like to use to rub my foundation in. It just seems to me that it smooths it out better than my other brush that I used to use. So I get in the mirror and I just start this way and I just go down. And I get under my eye. And then for the top part that I have over here, I like to rub that in right there. And you want to make sure you rub it in really good so it doesn't leave white marks. And you always want to make sure you get down so you have enough. So I'll go under. And you want to make sure it's all rubbed in. Make sure you get your nose and under. And so now that I got here, I'll rub that in. And you want to make sure you get to your hairline so it looks the same. I actually have some in my hair, but we'll get that out later. Okay, so now that it's all rubbed in, you can see like it kind of, the color changes your face. So you have that. And like I said, I just like to make sure it's rubbed in all the way so I don't have any little spots that haven't been rubbed in. Okay, so now that I have that rubbed in, I like to get my concealer. I have two different shades that I like to use. I like to blend these two together. So I'll start off with this one because it's like a lighter shade, and I just put it under my eye. You don't have to get a lot, just a little bit. You just squeeze it and it comes out like that. And I usually try to make like a little triangle. This triangle is kind of bigger. Then I put a little bit right here, and right there. For my triangle, I fill it in with the kind of darker tint. So as you can see, this one is kind of darker. And come out, and I just put a little inside the triangle. Nothing's working for me tonight, it seems. So just a little bit. So now that I have that, I'm going to get my blender. I have two different ones that I like to use, nothing in particular, I just have two. So I start down here, and I just like to rub it in. And just get under there, and above my lip, and my nose. Then I'll go on the side, and I'll just gently tap it until it's rubbed in. You don't want to smear it. And since I put the darker color tint inside the triangle, you like to make sure that it's rubbed in really good. Okay, then I'll do the top, and you just want to make sure that you don't see the lightest brown tint that is rubbed in to your face. And I'll just go back and make sure that it's rubbed in. As you can see now, you don't see any of the light tints. After that, I get my contour kit. I have a liquid kit that I like to use too, but unfortunately I don't have that one tonight. So this one is the powder, which is what you start off with if you're just beginning to do makeup. So as you can see, it gives you a step-by-step guide on the front as to how to use it. This is the brush that I like to use because it has two different sides. I like to get the material with this side of the brush, so I'll rub it in. Like I said, and it tells you on the front where to place it. So you'll place it right here. I actually use a little too much, a little right here. And just kind of like a even little bit of on or around the cheekbone. Since I use so much down here, I don't have enough over here, so I had to get some more. I mean, you just want to make sure you have a decent amount. So that's the white for that part, and then I'm going to get some more for my nose and up here. Should have pulled my hair back. So that's for that. I usually have like a towel so I could brush off the excess, so once you're doing the next shade, it doesn't get in there. So you just try to rub it off. So the next one I'll do under my cheek. So that's the darker brown, which is the Goddess bronzer. So you'll get that. Since it's kind of dark, you just want to make sure you put it right under, and you don't have to use so much because it's dark unless you like that kind of dark finish. So just a little bit. Like I said, you don't have to use a lot, and you actually don't have to do this step if you don't want to. It's just an extra step. And you get your under your chin, and you use the lighter tints around here. So like I said, I'm going to dust it off again, and I'm going to use the lighter tint, which is the golden bronzer, just a little bit. And I'm going to put it right here, and you can kind of see it once you rub like on your skin. And so just a little bit. I haven't used this brush in a while, so before I start, I'm just going to dust this side off just to be sure. And as you can see, it's kind of dirty. So once you rub it in, you just gently rub. You don't have to. You can also use the blender for this step, but I just like to rub it in. And so I just go like in a circular motion until you rub it in. Like I said, you don't have to do a lot. And I actually forgot over my lip, but you just put a little bit right here and you would do the lightest shade. So the same thing on this side, you just circular motion, rub it in. Okay. So my lighting is kind of dim, so I really am having a hard time to see that I'm actually applying it the way I would like. So then I'll put that down. And I'll pull my hair back. Since I have braids, they're kind of on my forehead, so I'll push those back so I can make sure that I'm getting up top so that it's blended in, so when you take a picture it doesn't look like your face is white. Okay, I'll swap hands just to be sure. Okay, so now that I have that rubbed in, as you can see that it's all rubbed in on all the different spots. It's not white anymore. And so I'll just go back over just a little bit and just kind of motions. Like I said, if you want it to be more brighter and you like that brighter tint, you can add more, or you can use like a shimmer to go under there. Okay, so now that that's rubbed in, this is normally, like I said, just for everyday going to work or something. This is what I do. Nothing extra, since you don't want to overdo it. I have my setting spray, which is Urban Decay's All Nighter. You spray this after you're finished and you let it set for maybe a minute or two.